Have you ever had a lump in the wrong place or a bump in life that you think is going to take you out and you don't see a way through? Well, today I want to share with you 4 strategies that help 2 different women with completely different stories, different parts of the country, but the 4 strategies are what they used in order to overcome some lumps and some bumps. Hi, I'm Cheryl Townsley, naturopath and wisdom coach. I absolutely love stories of real people going through real, serious, measurable problems and come through and become heroes impacting the lives of others. Let's start with Susie. Susie was from the northeast part of the United States until she went to warmer climates. But 25 years ago, she was in the northeast. We're going to call her Susie. And she heard me speak at an international conference, and we connected. You know how you do casually, speaker and somebody listening. But a few months later, she got some pretty serious news about some lumps. It was before thermograms, but she went to her doctor. She did get a diagnosis, and her dad was just weeping. And it was, God, please send Susie an angel. Please send somebody to help her. And somehow she ended up calling our office, and I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose, I don't prescribe, I don't do those things. But I can support people in giving their bodies what they need so that they can do the healing process in conjunction with whatever other modalities they're working with. So she said, Cheryl, I think you're the one that can help me on the nutritional side. Just tell me what to do. Now, as a practitioner, that really helps, because if someone asks for help and they're actually going to do the work, it's pretty cool. So I said, okay, you know that I haven't been doing this for a lot of years, only about 5 years. And you know I'm not a medical doctor. And she said, I know, but I trust you. I trust you to help me to do what I don't know how to do. So we put together a game plan, and she did exactly what I told her to do. And I don't remember the exact timing, but it was within about somewhere between 3 to 6 months. She went back, had the same test done with her medical doctor, and lumps were gone. All the markers were gone. And she was ecstatic. She was so ecstatic, she had Forrest and I come up to the Northeast and do some seminars. And we just developed a great friendship that has gone with us for the last 25 years. And she would check in every year or two with her health. And when her blood sugar was off, we worked on that. Well, then about 6-9 months ago, she said, Cheryl, I had a thermogram. I have some lumps in all the wrong places, and I want you to help me. And I said, okay, we'll do a scan. We'll figure out what your body's looking for. But as we did that, I said, you know, Susie, I have yet in 30 years at this point to see where one of those autoimmune diseases that can cause lumps, I've never yet found that it doesn't include either anger and or forgiveness. And I said, based on the scan, there's a lot of emotional contributors this time to what's going on. So I said, whether you work with me or someone else, getting to the root of anger and unforgiveness is really important. And she said, but Cheryl, I'm not an angry person. And she really isn't. And I said, but there's probably something somewhere in your life that deposited a lot of anger inside your body. And what was interesting is that she had been helping a nonprofit organization for 4 or 5 years, just volunteering because that's who she is. And so when this came up, it was interesting. She was talking to the head of this organization that does a lot of counseling. And she said, Susie, I've seen this for a while. I knew there was some anger. I would like to gift to you whatever it takes to do the counseling to support you to deal with the anger and the unforgiveness. Best of both worlds. 2 women who absolutely love Susie, are willing to support her. And so when she started unpacking that, it all went back to an abusive marriage where she was tremendously dishonored and abused. And even though she had said all the right words of forgiveness, the anger over how she had been treated had never been addressed, because it was never okay to be angry. So many women think it's not okay to be angry, but I can walk in fear. That is so backwards. Fear can kill, and stuffed anger can kill. So Susie, she did the work. She got to the emotional root. She got to the root of all of that anger. She did the protocol that I put together, and we checked in every couple of months. And just today, it's been about 6 months, approximately 7 months, and she said, Well, actually, she talked to 4. She said they did a thermogram. All the markers are gone. All the hot spots are gone. All the lumps are gone. And she's excited, and so am I. So that's a 25-year journey that began with an issue that came back up 25 years later, and different things were done, but she followed these 4 tips that I'm going to give you in just a minute because I want to share one more story. The other story is with someone with a lot of chemical sensitivities. Reacts to anything and everything. Every supplement's a problem. Most foods are a problem. And as I was working with this person, I said, usually when that's the case, there's going to be an issue emotionally, usually anger and or unforgiveness. And so just today I got the most special, is not even a strong enough word, letter where she talked about, she went back and watched the videos, because I always video our conversations in coaching. And she said, I went back to the very first session. I looked at how scared I was. What's it mean to deal with emotions? Is this going to be weird? Is it going to be scary? Is it going to hurt me? What's going to happen? And she said, even by the end of that first session, my countenance, her countenance, had changed. She's writing this in the letter. And she said, it was really interesting when I got off the session video in Zoom. She said, I was humming, and I caught myself, and I thought, I haven't done anything with music for about 30 years, especially maybe the last 6 years where things got really bad. And she said, music used to be a huge part of my life. And without even thinking, I was connecting with something that used to give me great joy. And she went through what she had learned over the last 6 months, and specifically how her life had changed. And she was in awe of the process she went through and that she had the capacity to see it. So what are the 4 keys that Susie, we'll call the last person Sally, different parts of the country, different health issues, but similar roots. So number 1, when you're facing a challenge, because usually it'll show up physically, because when our soul, our mind, our will, and emotions are totally threatened or have gone through trauma, it's going to typically show up in a physical symptom. So when you have a symptom, ask for help. Put together a team. Doesn't have to be just one person, but ask for help. Number 2, address the emotional roots, because I have yet to find physical issues that don't have, it may not be the root of the issue, but it could easily be a contributor. And remember, emotions are not logical. They don't come from this part of the brain. They come from back here of how we interpret things. If we've gone through dishonor or neglect or abandonment or abuse, we have an interpretation that triggers emotions, and it stays running as a background program 24/7, and that can easily impact our body. So ask for help. Know that there's an emotional contributor and find someone to help you with that. You know, in Susie's case, it wasn't me. I was part of the team, but she brought in another person. With Sally, I was that person. The key is find the person that you trust, that's safe, to help you discover what's driving the symptoms that may be driving and running your life. And number 3, stay the course. Both of these women were willing to stay the course and do the work. You know, as a coach, I can't play the game for you. I can't run the course for you. But what I can do is support you and encourage you, and with the experience and wisdom of 30 years, help you know what's the next step and what's the next step. And would a bodyworks person, would a lymph person help? Would a chiropractor help? What would be the people on your team? All of that's helpful. And I'm going to teach you simple things to do, because easy is so important. It might be breathing exercises. It might be relaxation. It might be learning how to just be quiet and unplug from technology. But be willing to do the work over time with accountability. And 4, I'll rephrase them in just a minute, so hang on. 4 is because if you have a really supportive team, they're going to help you begin to see and celebrate progress. And that is so important, because so many people who have had challenges in life All they can see is what isn't working. And maybe out of 20 things, 2 aren't working. They will see that. They won't see the 18 that are working. And then when you see it, it's celebrated. So with each of these women, we've celebrated, we've cried, we've laughed together, we've encouraged each other, because that's part of the journey. So wherever you are in life, whatever challenges you're going through, whatever your body is saying is the top issue to deal with, ask for help. Put together a team. Be willing to look at the emotional side of it, because it does play a part. 3, do the work. Do the work, be accountable, and stay the course. Because just as it didn't happen overnight, so the remedy doesn't work typically overnight. The stairs you went down to get to where you are the stairs you'll go back up. The good news is you usually go about 7 times faster up the stairs than you fell down the stairs. That's good news. And number 4, with a team, with a community, then you can learn to see and celebrate your progress, even if it's one baby step at a time. Because certainly Sally and Susie experienced that over years, over decades, all parts of the country, all parts of the world. People are getting results by implementing those 4 simple little tools. Because we all have bumps in life, and we all go through lumps in life. The good news is there's always a way through. If I can be of help, just let me know. CherylTownsley.com. Getting through the lumps and bumps, there is a path through, one baby step at a time.